As you all know, I'm making an MMORPG. Definitely not for the faint of heart. I have big dreams, and I'm a little stupid. So here's devlog number 2. And we have made some major headway in the game making process. I believe before we had just a triangle as a sprite. Now we have an actual in-game sprite, a server, code that works with the server as well. I'm going to go over each area of that in the video coming up, and it'll be timestamped if you're interested in a particular subject in the game making process. So we implemented everything we needed for the pre-alpha phase. Essentially, I used the pre-alpha phase as a litmus test. This was to see if the team and I were even experienced enough or capable at the time to do this. If we couldn't or got way too far off task, then I know I wasn't really ready for this in my life quite yet. I would need a little bit more experience. So we got our base sprite animations down and attack with an actual hitbox, some little balls to play with. From there, we had a hack and slash that would just rival Dynasty Warriors. Once we had a live server that we could connect to, I knew that we were done with the pre-alpha phase and could continue to this alpha phase. Now, in this alpha phase, it has not been pretty. This has been probably the hardest part of the whole thing. I'm personally focused on building the bones of everything, the framework behind everything, the scriptable objects, if you guys know what I'm talking about, and all of the things that make it work, essentially. And I didn't realize how much of that really goes into it. Like, you have to account for everything. It's not like, oh, it's not like modding. Obviously, this channel is mostly modding, where most of the base game handles all the little tiny things and you just are adding on to that. That you are the tiny things at this rate. So I started with leveling and stats. I turn the stat system into a scriptable object that'll support different stats for different races, a leveling system with basic leveling curve that gives stat and knowledge points at certain levels. Knowledge points are what we're going to use for gaining specific abilities or base ability trees in game. I then moved on to an equipment manager and some weapon scriptable objects and set up our base damage numbers. We're going to go with lower numbers as a personal choice. I actually like the D&D approach to having min to max damage with modifiers. So I adopted stat modifiers for all the weapons that would enhance final damage output. As of writing this, I'm currently working on a skill system. This will be skill-based progression. As you use the skills, they get stronger, and the overall tree for the skill also progresses. Like Fireball makes Fireball stronger or gain experience, and then that overall gives you experience for your Fire Magic tree. Basic stuff if you've played any games that rely on that system. Now, the pitfall of these systems is grinding the more useless skills in order to make that easier. In my system, all skills will gain a small amount of XP towards progress for every skill cast in the same tree. What that means is if I use Fireball, and let's just say the lesser skill Firebolt would also gain a small amount of XP that Fireball gains. So you are technically mastering a little bit of all your skills, with the more advanced skills giving a little bit more XP. So you're not sitting there grinding Firebolt that you would never use, possibly, and you only want to use Fireball, then just use Fireball, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's pretty much the framework portion of everything. But there's still a lot to do. So it's a pretty short video, but I'm going to wrap it up by saying, it's definitely been a journey already. There's been a lot of life things behind the scenes that I've been dealing with as well. I'm trying to stabilize that so that I can just focus on this. Right now, I did hit a little bit of a hiccup, to be honest with you. Actually, in the midst of writing this, we hit the hiccup where I wanted my sprite to have an idle animation with everything, essentially a combat idle, a regular idle, and just kind of idle. But I also wanted the sprite to be chopped up, so it would be essentially put into separate parts and then put together in engine, and then all the parts move sort of on their own and together, if that makes any sense. Now, my skill level, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't add those animations together and make them function nicely and not make them either overlap or not work at all. And that was really a bummer for me. I really was bummed out for a while about that. So I decided to take a step back and not push something that would break me. And I decided to go with the sprite swap system. So we would have animations, of course, you need to have animations for a game, but we would have a more basic system where there would be no idling. Just the body would animate with attacks and walking and everything. And then you would have at rest, your character just kind of is static, essentially. And that just is going to make things a lot easier and kind of help us to keep moving forward with this game making process. So I'm hoping I have even more to show you guys. I'm hoping that we have an actual something that looks more like a game with UI and everything like that. As I said earlier, we already have the server up and we already can connect to it. So that is a big hurdle, in my opinion, that's done. And then from there, just adding other players to that server where we can see each other and everything would be another huge milestone on us. But thank you guys for listening to my rambling. And I hope you guys all are there when we decide to launch this thing. And I hope you guys definitely follow this journey of this devlog and see where we get to. And I hope I can keep making these. I don't want to just skimp out and have you guys in the dark and think, oh, is that game coming out still? I definitely would like to continue with this. Thank you for watching. And if you want to see more, definitely hit the subscribe button. We are going to have more RimWorld and modding content coming up. I am still working on more mods for RimWorld. If you guys don't follow the Discord and saw that, by next year we will be starting the Bleach mod, and I will be updating the Naruto mod with the specializations and a lot more updates because Naruto universe just has a lot to offer there. But all in all, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.